this is launch that's quite strange. We are not encouraging you to take 4, 5, 6 sessions of relax, okay? You just be sleeping here, by 9 o'clock you're like, hey, go home. So you can try a little bit, but don't take 4 like, oh, this is nice, because it is nice.
Is here?
Yeah. Is it there's recording?
Yeah.
Sorry? Okay, cerita pasal produk. Of course, the product, kami adalah the co-founders. We are the co-founders of this Aemis range, which basically covers 2 products, specifically Relax, which is a sleep aid to help you get a better sleep, and also Probiome, which is a product that helps with the health of your gut.
Siapa yang membuatkan anda semua untuk produce the product itu? Mungkin ada inspirasi ke ataupun
Okay.
Our inspiration, yeah. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, it was during the pandemic when I had a whole breakthrough where I realized that, you know what, I have to start investing in myself, because before the pandemic we were like, our schedules are like back to back. Every week we count every 5 minutes, and especially me, I have never invested in my life, in my sleep, you know, in my health. So I thought this is the best time for us to come up with something. And guess what? During the pandemic is when I had good sleep, and I thought, guess what? It stabilizes everything. It balances up our whole life. So hence that's why we hold this product really close to us, right?
So basically, because of, as my wife said earlier, during the pandemic, we realized that our health can be attacked from forces which are beyond our control, misalnya the COVID, and also we decided to look at, and we had the time, a little bit of time, to start looking at how we can come up with something that not only benefits ourselves, but can benefit other people as well. So I would say that the pandemic was a period of resetting. What can we do differently to support ourselves, not just ourselves, but to support other people as well. And this is one of the results. Target market golongan sasaran boleh dikatakan mereka ataupun sesiapa yang possibly under stress. So you can say kebanyakan orang, especially those who live in the city, people who live in a lifestyle of crowded, of work, of traffic jams, of stressful nature of job. So you can say that would be the target market. But at the end of the day, anybody who wants a better level of sleep, a more deeper level of sleep, and also anybody who is concerned or care for the health of their gut. So mostly at the city people, but anybody who wants to look after their own health.
Yeah. I would also say from young adults, very young adults, including university students who's going through stress. Like for me, because I've been a student for a very long time, from Sunway A levels to med school, 6-7 years of med school, and then PhD for the past 10 years. So sleep, I was really, really affected by insufficient sleep. So I thought, you know what, I can't go back time. I can't go back and try to change the life that I had before. But today I can make a difference to students out there. You don't need to burn the midnight oil if you manage your time well, So these are ways that we could handle time and manage our schedule well. So start it young. It's not too late.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Michelle from the start.
Hi, Michelle.
To know that how do you derive to the name Aemis? Is there any behind Aemis, the brand name? Is there any reason behind?
Well, basically, behind the brand name, it is derived not specifically from one word, but basically from some Greek anthropology, which means protection, coming from a point of protection, looking after. So, but that's not the exact word, but you can't just use any word. So this plus the sound of it is very nice. I like the sound of it.
It's very different. I thought it was very unique as well. Yeah.
And I don't know why when we came up with it, we also felt like it's a very bluish,
It just
purplish
rhymes and,
feel.
yeah.
It just feels something that feels nice and feels good. End of the day, words are just words, but as long as you have a right you're connected to it. Then we went through a few different words. This was the one that rings most true for us.
And the brand color is also like I'm more into the purplish pink, and he's more into the blue, and he loves the beach. So I'm like, no, why not just bring two worlds together?
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
From Bandara Luna, I nak tanya, adakah ia selamat untuk diambil oleh orang yang memang dah ambil ubat
Untuk ambil apa, sorry?
yang dia dah ambil
To take other medication.
Oh, okay. So I would say that this will assist you, but it will not cure any. We are not claiming that it would cure any sort of sleep diseases, but it's best to seek professional help for sure. But do take it as a aid or as something to supplement yourself. So I would rather go ahead with some natural, natural sort of supplements rather than going for the the Western way of handling this. So I believe there's many ways that we could handle it, but we are not claiming that it heals any sleep disorder or whatever it is, but it's just a supplement.
Dan
Yes.
tadi mungkin ada kejutan daripada anak-anak kan? Mungkin apa you guys reaction ataupun you guys punya respon tadi?
Kejutan daripada anak. dah 3 anak, so kita dah biasa dengan kejutan daripada anak. Is that what you mean in terms of the disturbance of sleep? But at the end of the day, it's not just about we cannot say we have our own complaints. We realize everyone live their own life. Everyone have their own different way of handling stress. So these products is basically just a supplement. It's not, as my wife mentioned earlier, bukan sesuatu untuk it will cure this. There's no promises about that. It's just a supplement. It's an aid to help, to support.
You mean kejutan yang tadi tu ya? Yang mereka tulis the
Anak datang bawaan bunga.
Oh, kejutan tadi.
So yeah, so I think mereka selalu memang sweet sangat. So we always encourage them to write a lot, write us a letter. So for example, when I left for Singapore last week for a week of conference, so I leave them macam a note, macam love letter untuk mereka, for them to read when they miss me, So this has been our family practice, mainly because he's also a writer. He writes a lot. So I think this is something very traditional and it should go on. So I was actually quite surprised tadi. Wasn't expecting them to write something so sweet, especially my little girl. So yeah, it's a very pleasant surprise.
Ada target jualan untuk produk ni? Target
Target jualan will be young adults to any age.
berapa banyak by end of this year?
Oh, of course, we're aiming at 100,000. Is it too much to ask? I'm not too sure. My marketing team. Price range, darling. Our price range.
Okay, so far under
we
the
have promo
Aemis,
now?
we have
No
Relax
promo.
and also Probio. So each of them is about 200 something. We have different products.
Yeah.
So after that, maybe I can provide you more info about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was wondering, you mentioned the formulation process took almost around a year. So, what triggered the start, what was the first move that you guys took, and then how did that process kind of play
Oh, so I was actually when he told me, you know what, I think you start sleeping before midnight. So I went on searching for supplements in iHerbs. So I went on, okay, what should I take to sleep well, or at least in States it's a bit different. You could actually buy milks off the shelf, right? So I'm like, should I buy? Then I'm like, no, I shouldn't. Maybe I should just change my habit. So with that whole journey, I discovered a lot of ingredients, and that's where we start matching things up together, and then we realize, no, this A will not go with B will not go with C, and then hence that's how we start off our clinical research and contact other researchers abroad. So it was actually a very very intensive time. So we actually released the product much earlier. We did some market survey as well. We formulated this for the 3rd time. So we have achieved our optimum formulation at this moment. So hence it's a good time for us to launch it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
maybe we tune, some language, how about our Chinese media? 中文媒体有怎么样的一些问题，我可以帮你发问，有吗 ？Janet，
just want to ask, there's a lot of supplements in the market. Why do you think that we'll start off with probiotic and the
So I think for most probiotics out there, they only cover probiotics. They forget about the prebiotics. So prebiotics is actually equally important because it helps to supplement the livelihood of your probiotics. So these two are like actually macam hand in hand based on research. So as Ray mentioned earlier, this is actually the first product contains probiotics and prebiotics and consists of 20 billion CFU, which is ideal for our human healthy gut. This number is actually very difficult. So if you really look into the research of even cultivating all these good bacteria, right, it's very difficult to have them live in room temperature, you know. So it's a very, very difficult product to formulate. So hence the technology is actually from the US. We work with our very, very good researchers, as Ray mentioned earlier. So it's actually not a very easy product to develop, you know. Having the strand live in our day to this temperature here, room temperature, is actually really tough. So that's why a lot of research have to be done, especially to their stability and the pH of the product as well, equally important.
Thank you, Yes, and Harith Iskander.
Okay.
So we can take, because of the timing, so we can have last one question from the ground. Any more question?
Harith nak tanya, boleh cerita sikit apa pengalaman ibu sepanjang bekerja dan membuat produk dengan produk ni dengan isteri?
Pengalaman saya macam saya mulakan standard kindergarten and I'm listening to my teacher. But by the end of this time, I dah masuk tingkatan 2. I haven't reached the teacher standard yet. Tapi from a boleh katakan I'm a non-scientist. Saya not a scientist. So a lot of it, kalau nak tanya what is the pH, what is the billion this, billion that, saya tak begitu faham. Tapi yang saya faham is that for anyone who wants to know more, you need to know more about your body. You need to know more about stress, especially now with mental health dah menjadi satu isu. Perkataan mental health 2 tahun lepas, people don't know what does mental health mean. Now every day disebut mental health, and what beneath mental health is stress, unhealthiness, and a lot of things which all come together. So this is actually something for me dari segi pengalaman. Boleh katakan at the beginning saya ada kosong pengalaman, but now I realize it's not how much you know, it's the fact that you need to discover, you need to learn more about it. And I don't think I know everything about it, but I'm still on the process of discovery.
So for me, I think from my experience developing this, right, so I'm the science person where I read a lot and I put things together and I go back to my market, kan? So he's the one who questions me all this marketing. Hey, can you cover this? Do you think you can cover these age groups? So the good thing about us is I'm the science and he's the creative person. So I think it really complements. We complement each another in many ways. It's just that I think what touches us more is because I'm now able to sleep properly and have a more regular habit and sleep pattern. I think that's the most important. Of course, it's already in the pipeline. Can research, right? Because we need to work at least a year in advance. So this is actually our MCO baby. We have been working on it since then. We do have 2 to 3 products on the pipeline, still in our research and still doing our R&D at the moment.
Okay, thank you so much for all
Thank
the
you.
questions. So if anything, you guys can still